Hey everybody, Alex Kazora, SteelersDepot.com, back with a Pittsburgh Steelers recap and reaction to the Pittsburgh Steelers 33-31 loss to the Cincinnati Bengals on Thursday night. Pittsburgh now 4-2 on the season. Let's talk about it. Before we start, if you guys could like this video, subscribe to the channel, and check out the site, SteelersDepot.com. Would really appreciate that. So the Mike Tomlin Thursday night road curse continues. Now he is 2-10 all-time Thursday night on the road, 0-7 against the AFC North. You figured this one would be close and certainly not easy. Short week, divisional opponent. You can see why Mike Tomlin upset about the Bengals being able to acquire Joe Flacco, but no excuses overall. Pittsburgh was the better team on paper, a game they were expected to win, even if it was ugly. They did not. Flacco is certainly not a elite level quarterback anymore. Better than Jake Browning, but certainly someone that was beatable, and Pittsburgh knew they were going to face him. There was no excuse of him coming off the bench like there was last season. So to this game, Pittsburgh did not play its style of football. Couldn't stop the run. Lost the turnover battle. You do those things short week on the road, you're going to lose the game most of the time. And that's where my ire, so to speak, starts in this one. Pittsburgh had a golden opportunity to make Cincinnati one-dimensional. The Bengals had not just the worst rushing attack in football, but by far the worst rushing attack in football. Came into this game averaging 56 yards per game. That was about 25 yards worse than 31st place. They had been terrible all year long. Chase Brown averaging 2.7 yards per carry, and they were on pace to have the fewest rushing yards by a team in a non-strike year since the 1946 Miami Seahawks. And yes, I said that correctly, the Miami Seahawks, an early precursor to the Baltimore Colts. Long story there. No one cares about that right now, I'm sure. You guys know the rest of the story. Bengals run for $142. Chase Brown, 11 carries, 108 yards, almost 10 yards a pop, along at 37, and that's just simply not acceptable. Pittsburgh has to stop the run. They got much better at it, coming off a really good performance against Cleveland and a much better offensive line, a much better rushing attack, and Pittsburgh just simply could not stop the run, allowed the Bengals to stay on schedule. It muted the pass rush, and Joe Flacco cooked from there. And Cookie did 31 of 47 for 342, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, only the second 3-touchdown game he's ever had against the Pittsburgh Steelers, and he's 40 years old. And slinging it around to Jamar Chase with 16 receptions for $161 and a touchdown. T. Higgins, 6 catches, 96 yards, a score of his own, the key completion late in this one to set up the game-winning field goal with about 11 seconds left. Chase's 16 receptions are the most by an opponent ever against the Pittsburgh Steelers, breaking a record that had stood since 1981. And so Pittsburgh had no answers. Steelers acquired all this DB talent at corner to load up specifically for the Bengals and for Chase and Higgins. You trade for Ramsey. You sign Darius Slay. You hope Porter would continue to ascend, and none of those guys stepped up today. Slay, his legs look cooked. He looks old, 34 years old, in a short week trying to run with these guys. Not working well. Yosevas beating him on a key third and long conversion, which has happened far too often this season. And then Porter with penalties, and Ramsey struggling as well. These guys just kind of struggling to run and to play clean, and that really put Pittsburgh in a bind. But it's not just the players, it's the schematics and game plan in this one. So many slants over the middle, and I got to go through the tape and watch this thing. But man, can you play inside shade, inside leverage once on these guys and take that away, force something else for Flacco to throw to? Just so much pitch and catch over the middle, some soft zone on 3rd and long. The Flacco's going to pick apart the rush not getting home, but you can't allow Chase to go for 16 receptions for $161. He could have had more. He dropped a couple as well in this game. Chase Brown dropped a pass that would have been a 20-plus yard reception. So it wasn't just those guys. I talked about Yosevas being a really talented player. Noah Fant always had success against Pittsburgh. He caught a touchdown in this game, open over the middle, but Pittsburgh just no answers schematically, defensively, which is really disheartening because the whole reason for some of these big swings in the offseason was to take away the Bengals, who did not have Joe Burrow in this game. It was Flacco, and better quarterback than what they had, but he's no Joe Burrow. He sure looked like it tonight. Offensively, 2 interceptions. Those things are going to lose you games. Pittsburgh could not force a takeaway. Defensively, either the first interception, a bad ball by Rodgers, the second one, kind of a flukier play. Metcalf getting the ball ripped out as he's being hit. I mean, Rodgers played well overall. The O-line gave a lot of time early. The Bengals pass rush without Trey Hendrickson was invisible. No sacks for Rodgers. So it's hard to really fault Rodgers. The big 68-yard touchdown to Pat Freiermuth that put Pittsburgh ahead. Really good to see Freiermuth have a great game in this one. 5 catches for $111 and 2 touchdowns. So his coming out party, he's always had success, and the Bengals are his kind of team to take advantage of. So I know there was a lot of consternation about Freiermuth and lack of usage, but these things ebb and flow. And to me, the Bengals game was kind of his litmus test. If he couldn't make plays against the Bengals, maybe there would be an alarm bell going up about his future and role with the team, but he certainly had a big one. They ran the ball well. I mean, Warren ran the ball extremely well and hard, and Darnell Washington, Spencer Anderson had a good game. So some will say they ran the ball a little too few, not enough times in this one, kind of the middle portion of the game. And there might be some validity to that, but I think overall, ran the ball 20 times on 50-something plays. I'm not dissatisfied with it. It was a good scheme, getting the toss scheme, getting some of these pullers on with Anderson and Washington. So, I mean, the offense ultimately put up 31 points despite 2 turnovers. That should win you a game against the Cincinnati Bengals. So, tough loss, no question. This one stings. You got to sit in it over the mini bye. But, Pittsburgh can still take care of business and still has everything in front of them. Now, there's no question this was a big squandered opportunity. You could have won this game, go to 5-1, put the Bengals to 2-5, and really just be in complete control of the division. It's now certainly much more wide open, but I know people won't like to hear this, and it's not excusing the loss. It was bad, and there was a lot of things to correct, but Pittsburgh can certainly rebound. Pittsburgh has lost these games before, unfortunately, and they bounced back from it before. So it stings. It sucks. There's certainly a lot of things to work on. Get a tough matchup in Week 8, but there's still a bounce-back opportunity here, and I'm not going to start freaking out, even though it was a bad loss, and there's certainly things that must be improved to rebound against the Packers next Sunday night at home in Aaron Rodgers' first game ever facing his former team in the Green Bay Packers. So, I know there's other things to talk about in this one. Other tight ends, Johnny Smith, Darnell Washington catching touchdowns, Roman Wilson getting a little more involvement, but just my overall thoughts, Pittsburgh turning the football over, not stopping the run, bad defensive game plan, and the Thursday night curse lives on. So those are my quick thoughts. We'll go through the tape and have a lot of time to do so. Unfortunately, it's not going to be super pleasant to watch, but let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and check out the site SteelersDepot.com. Thank you again, and we'll talk to you soon.